Venturing into the woods alone at night can be terrifying. But what happens when you encounter someone or something you'd rather never meet? Tonight, we're diving into the 6 most disturbing camping encounters ever recorded. These clips will make you think twice about ever stepping into the woods alone again. Let's delve straight into this first disturbing encounter. This video was captured by Brendan, a beloved explorer you might know from his channel, Uncharted Travel. Brendan is known for his calm and grounded demeanor. He's not easily scared and has a passion for exploring old, forgotten places. For over 8 years, his YouTube channel has been filled with fascinating adventures, taking viewers along as he uncovers the mysteries hidden within decaying buildings, all while documenting every moment on camera. For this particular exploration, we join Brendan on the night of October 31st, 2019, a cold winter evening. But the chilly weather doesn't stop him from embarking on yet another adventure. His destination? An old, isolated, and abandoned prison located in the northern wilderness of Canada. It's the kind of place most people would avoid, especially at night. But Brendan? He's doing the exact opposite. Not only does he plan to explore the Eerie building, but he's also decided to spend the night there. With his gear packed, including a tent, he loads up his car and sets off on a 6-hour drive toward the prison.
Essentially what I'm doing today, I'm going to be traveling about 6 hours north to an isolated prison in the middle of nowhere in Canada. I'm going to be going alone, and I'm going to be staying the night. The only people I've actually seen out this far are reservists, so that's a little bit concerning. Hopefully there's no one around where I plan on parking.
After a long journey, Brendan finally arrives, parks his car, and grabs his equipment. From there, he begins a 2-hour walk through the dense wilderness to reach the isolated prison. After a long walk, Brendan finally arrived at the abandoned prison and stepped inside, searching for a suitable spot to set up his campsite. Once he found the right location, he pitched his tent as night began to fall. To make himself comfortable, he started a small campfire. But as he glanced at his phone, an eerie feeling washed over him. No service. He realized just how isolated he was, deep in the woods and alone in this desolate prison. The nearest civilization was several hundred kilometers away. He was, quite literally, in a dead zone. Brendan tried to shake off his unease. He cooked a simple dinner and decided to explore more of the prison, heading toward a room he hadn't ventured into during daylight. As he navigated the building's decaying, leaky hallways, Brendan moved cautiously, the dim light casting long shadows around him. The air was damp and heavy, the silence oppressive, broken only by the creak of the old structure. With each step, the hope that nothing frightening would occur lingered in his mind, but the further he went, the deeper the tension grew. And that's when it happened. A loud clatter echoed down the hallway. A tin can had fallen, the sound reverberating through the empty space. Startled, Brendan whipped around, his heart racing. He scanned the area but saw nothing. Swallowing his fear, he pressed on. The noises began to intensify. It was hard to tell if they were just the echoes of dripping water reverberating through the old prison, or if someone was truly out there with him. Not wanting to panic, Brendan took a deep breath, steadied his nerves, and continued toward the boiler room, the destination he had planned for. Once he reached the boiler room, he scanned the area, documenting everything for his viewers. He explained the history and eerie atmosphere of the space before deciding it was time to wrap up his exploration and head back to his campsite.
Now this is creepy. We're definitely gonna have to change socks tomorrow.
As Brendan retraced his steps, navigating the dark, eerie hallways, the unsettling silence was broken once again.
There's something at the end of the hallway that keeps making noise. Where it came from, this room at the end. Maybe it's just my imagination.
A loud dragging sound echoed from the last room at the end of the hallway. It sent chills down his spine. A clear sign that he might not have been as alone as he initially thought. Summoning his courage, Brendan made his way toward the source of the sound, determined to uncover the truth. But as he approached, the noise abruptly stopped. Was someone playing tricks on him? Or was something far more mysterious at work? Whatever it was, the experience left Brendan deeply unsettled and eager to retreat to the safety of his tent.
What a beautiful sight to behold. My crappy tent. I can't wait to just put on some dry socks and go to bed. It's been a long day.
Brendan arrives back at his campsite, slipping off his wet shoes and stepping into his tent, ready for a well-deserved night of rest after a long day of exploring. But little did he know, sleep eludes him.
I keep hearing something outside. Sounds like it's in the corridor, one of the corridors. Maybe an animal, I don't know. Of course now it's... Did you hear that? I hope that mic picked that up. Okay, let me get my shoes on. We're checking this out.
As soon as Brendan settles into his tent, the eerie noises outside intensify. Thoughts race through his mind. Could it be an animal, or worse, a person following him? Known for his bravery, Brendan decides to investigate.
Fox earlier, so maybe it was one of his buddies. It sounded literally just out in this hallway.
He scans the area carefully, but nothing unusual occurs. Convincing himself it's just his imagination playing tricks on him, Brendan heads back to his tent, slips off his wet shoes once again, and crawls into his sleeping bag. To block out the unsettling sounds and calm his nerves, he puts on his headphones, hoping to find some peace.
Alright guys, I'm finally gonna head to bed. It's about 1:30 in the morning, and it's gotten down to about 0 degrees, so it's rather chilly. But luckily this sleeping bag is actually pretty good, so I'm fairly warm, and hopefully I'll see you in the morning.
Brendan logs off with his viewers, puts away his camera, and attempts to drift off to sleep with his earphones in. But just as he starts to relax, a loud, jarring noise pierces through the night, jolting him into high alert.
And this place makes so much noise. Like, when you can't discern raindrops from wind, from animals, from scratches, from whatever, it messes with your mind, man. It's so hard to sleep here. But I'm going to try. It's really late and I'm really tired.
He finds it impossible to sleep, the unsettling sounds becoming harder to ignore. The realization that he is miles from civilization makes the situation even more unnerving. For over half an hour, Brendan listens intently, unable to determine where the noises are coming from or what could be causing them. Eventually, he tries to fall asleep again, but his peace is shattered once more. This time, it's unmistakable. Someone or something is definitely out there with him.
Holy, there's a coyote outside. Right outside my tent. Hey buddy, you want to leave me alone? It's gonna be a long night. I just want to go to sleep. Go away! Go away!
Seemingly more annoyed than afraid, Brendan calls out in an attempt to scare off whatever is causing the noise. But instead of frightening the pack of coyotes away, his call seems to attract them closer. A potentially dangerous situation, especially given how isolated Brendan is.
There's something growling at me. I got my bear mace. Get my knife. I'm guessing it's on the lower level, on the second floor, beneath me. Oh my god. There's a pack of coyotes out in the woods over there. Wow. Let's just hope to God they don't come up here.
Armed with his knife, Brendan cautiously steps outside, prepared to confront the growling coyotes. Fortunately for him, they had already retreated deeper into the forest and were no longer lingering near his campsite. Relieved, but still cautious, Brendan retreats to his tent, deciding to wait out the rest of the night until morning.
So we made it through the night. In case any of you were wondering, yes, the night sucked. Essentially what happened is it dropped below freezing. Everything is covered in a layer of ice. It was really hard for me to keep warm. Thank God I had a pair of hot pockets that I forgot about. This place during the day, no problem, piece of cake. From dusk till dawn, it's on a whole nother level, man. As soon as I tried going to bed, I heard, like, it sounded like human footsteps, like just like scraping across the floor. But it turned out to be just a pack of coyotes. So that was pretty sweet. They were like stalking me. And then after a little while, I heard them cackling, and then I realized it was sounded like a jackal or coyote. I'll just use coyote for ease of term. But yeah, they started circling. And I was in the tent in the cafeteria, and they started circling the tent. And they just kept circling. And they kept getting closer and closer. So then I was like, all right, I've had enough of this. So I grabbed my knife
and I barged out the front door, and I kind of like fended them off. I started yelling at them and scared them away. And then 5 minutes later, they were circling again, circling around the tent. So then I scared them off again. And every time, this happened like maybe 1 or 2 more times, and every time they'd come back, they'd get more and more bold, and they'd get more and more close, which I definitely did not like. Being alone, it just added like a whole another level of fear for me. Unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of this on camera because I was just trying to stay safe at the time, because this was like the first time I actually felt like I was in danger. And then as soon as they started rubbing up against my tent, that's when I called it. So I scared them off one last time. I packed up my things and I ran pretty much threw everything in like a bindle in the tent, and then I ran up the stairs and lost the coyotes, and thankfully made it up to the roof, barricaded the roof door so that they couldn't get up, which luckily held them off for the whole night. But then as soon as I got my camp set up here, I heard them on the second story. They were looking for me. They were walking up and down the hallways trying to find me, and I was trying to keep so quiet not to alert them or anything like that. I was exhausted. It was like 3 a.m. at this point, 4 a.m. maybe. And my stomach, because I hadn't eaten pretty much anything, my stomach started grumbling. And just then I started hearing growling, like vicious growling. And that's when I knew they were not there to be friendly. And the growling sounded like it was coming from a foot behind my head. So I grabbed my knife, grabbed a flashlight, bust out the tent again, and I realized that the coyote is directly beneath me on the second story, growling up at me, trying to figure out where I am. So I spent pretty much the next hour or so awake listening to them stalking me in the hallway. And I don't know if you guys have ever been hunted before, but it kind of sucks. So it was kind of scary. I was honestly terrified that they'd break through my barricade and that was it.
Reflecting on his experience as daylight finally breaks, Brendan explains the events to his viewers. He expresses gratitude for his luck in coming out unscathed. This ordeal serves as a perfect reminder of the hidden dangers that can arise when camping alone, especially in remote locations far from civilization. Luckily, Brendan made it out unharmed and continues to share his adventures with his audience. However, this chilling experience is one he won't easily forget. And the same can be said about the experience of 2 boys featured in the next video. A life-threatening encounter that made them rethink the dangers of staying overnight in an eerie place. Sorry to interrupt the video, but if you're enjoying it, please consider subscribing to our channel. We're aiming to reach 100,000 subscribers by April, and if we reach our goal, every single one of you will get a discount code for our merch store. Right now, 83.9% of you watching haven't subscribed yet. It's free, and your support helps us create more awesome videos. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let's move on with the video. This horrifying footage was captured by Tobias, a YouTuber you might recognize from his channel, Unknown Worlds. Tobias, a 22-year-old urban explorer, has spent over 8 years venturing into abandoned places, sharing his thrilling discoveries with his audience. Known for his courage, Tobias often explores these eerie locations alone. However, on this particular day, he wouldn't be going solo. Instead, he was joined by his good friend Alex, embarking on an overnight exploration that would turn into a nightmare neither of them could have anticipated. For this video, Tobias takes us to Germany, the country where he was born and raised, and where most of his explorations take place. It's February 3rd, 2017, a cold winter evening. But the freezing temperatures didn't deter the boys from venturing into the unknown.
Unterwegs zu einem neuen Lost Place, den wir zufällig über Google Maps gefunden haben. Deswegen gehen wir davon aus, dass er noch gut erhalten sein sollte, noch nicht so viele Leute da waren. Wir haben wenig bis keine Informationen über diesen Ort. Das heißt, wir wissen nicht, wie sieht's mit Security aus, wie sieht es mit Umzäunung aus, wie gefährlich ist dieser Lost Place. Das ist natürlich auch immer ein Aspekt, den man...
Tobias begins the video, enthusiastically logging in with his viewers, explaining their plan to explore a derelict building. Everything seemed routine at first, just another adventure to document for their audience. But what started as a typical exploration would quickly spiral into something life-threatening. As Tobias and Alex entered the building, a disgusting smell immediately filled the air. Alex remarked, "It smells like pee," a sign that someone may have been there recently. The thought was unsettling. The smell was fresh. It could indicate current activity. Still, the boys decided to press on, unknowingly heading straight into danger. Navigating through the decaying hallways, the tension grew thicker. The eerie silence of the building seemed to amplify their every step. And then, the unimaginable happened. Out of nowhere, their seemingly harmless exploration turned into a real-life horror movie. A homeless man, armed with a knife, suddenly appeared, lunging at the boys. In a terrifying turn of events, the man grabbed Tobias and began dragging him away. Alex, frozen in shock, bolted, running as fast as he could. Desperate to escape, Alex eventually turned back, only to see the man walking away, blood staining the floor. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Alex managed to flee the building and immediately called the police.
Es war nur ein Typ und mein Kumpel, keine Ahnung, der ist hier noch drin. Ich weiß nicht, was mit dem los ist. Nee, ich bin nicht verletzt, ich bin gar nicht verletzt. Ich konnte direkt abhauen, aber wie gesagt, mein Kumpel ist da noch drin. Sie müssen schnell Polizei und Krankenwagen. Ich weiß nicht, was da jetzt noch passiert ist, keine Ahnung, ich war direkt draußen und es war in der Baracke drin. Okay, ja, ich komme nach vorne, dann zeige ich das.
After the call, the camera went dark as Alex turned off the recording in his panic. With no footage of the actual assault, viewers were left to piece together what had happened through Tobias and Alex's harrowing retelling. Weeks later, after Tobias had recovered from his injuries, the pair released a follow-up video addressing the countless questions from their audience.
Also zu unserem letzten Video sind natürlich viele Fragen aufgekommen. Ich werde mal versuchen, so die, an die ich mich noch erinnere, jetzt zu beantworten. Und zwar natürlich, ob die Polizei kam. Man sieht ja am Ende, wie Alex die Polizei gerufen hat. Die kam auch mit dem Krankenwagen. Wie die jetzt mit diesem Obdachlosen oder was es war, verfahren ist oder hat, wissen wir nicht. Der Krankenwagen hat mich logischerweise ins Krankenhaus gebracht. Ich hatte Verletzungen an der Hand und am Arm. Und ich wurde dann nur im Krankenhaus angerufen, ob ich Anzeige erstatten will. Da habe ich natürlich ja gesagt. Also was man ja nicht auf der Kamera sieht in der Aufnahme, was jetzt noch mit mir passiert ist. Also Also wir hatten auf jeden Fall extrem Glück, dass dieser Obdachlose alkoholisiert war, extrem stark. Was man auch sehr gerochen hat. Man hat ja auch bei seinem Bett gesehen, dass da wirklich Pullen lagen. Deswegen waren seine Angriffe jetzt nicht so krass koordiniert, sage ich mal. Also er ist auch direkt umgekippt danach. Man konnte ihn abwehren. Ich habe ihn weggetreten. Man denkt die ganze Zeit dabei, wenn man da sich getrennt hat, was auch so dumm war, dass man sich getrennt hat, denn einfach bei diesem Angriff, man denkt die ganze Zeit, ja fuck, ist er jetzt eigentlich noch drin? Ist er schon draußen? Man weiß ja überhaupt nicht, was abgeht. Soll man jetzt noch mal rein oder... Also das ist auch so dumm, wir haben Pfefferspray eigentlich, aber wir vergessen es jedes Mal im Auto, es bleibt jedes Mal im Auto liegen. Das hätte wahrscheinlich auch extrem einfach geholfen, dass man ihn sofort außer Gefecht hätte setzen können. Man sollte es wieder auf die harte Tour lernen, dass man jetzt immer Pfefferspray bei hat. Ist auf jeden Fall extrem krass gewesen. Hat einen auch sehr, sehr sensibilisiert, was so Lost Places angeht.
In the video, Tobias recounted the horrifying encounter. He explained how lucky he was that the attacker was under the influence of alcohol, which likely reduced his strength. Otherwise, the outcome could have been far worse. Tobias emphasized the importance of being more cautious when exploring abandoned places and acknowledged that the challenge of staying the entire night had been far from successful. While the ordeal ended without any fatalities, it serves as a chilling reminder. Danger can strike when you least expect it. If you found this disturbing already, let's move on to the next terrifying video. Here we go again with another horrifying video from Brendan, the popular YouTuber you will know from the channel Uncharted Travel. As you have seen in the previous video, Brendan isn't someone who scares easily or backs down from a challenge. He thrives on adventure, exploring some of the most remote areas of the world, all alone and often in the dead of night. While most people wouldn't dare to do this, for Brendan, it's exactly his cup of tea. It's October 28th, 2022, a cold but sunny autumn day. Brendan starts his journey fresh and energized, departing from his hotel to visit a much-requested location. His exact destination? An abandoned mine deep in the mountains of British Columbia.
We are headed to film probably one of the most requested videos on my channel, which is Alone, Episode 5. The location that we're going to film is an old abandoned mine, somewhere in southern BC. It's exchanged hands and it has quite a rich history, but it is so far out of the way that I had to take a plane, I had to rent a car, and now I am preparing to do some off-roading and then hike to this location, to which I will hopefully be able to stay the night and complete this new episode of Alone.
Brendan checks in with his viewers, sharing his plan and his challenge to spend the night in this eerie and isolated mine. If you listened closely, you might have caught him mentioning that the mine has a rich and haunting history. And as we know, places with a long history often have their fair share of strange and unsettling events, and he is about to experience it firsthand. Brendan drove for almost an hour over unpaved roads, and the further he went, the more impassable the roads became. Debris from rock slides, potholes, and overgrowth made the journey nearly impossible. With no phone service, this far from civilization, Brendan needed to stay on high alert.
Oh, that was a bad one. Oh my god. Looks like we're pulling up on the parking spot here. Alright, that's it. It's all on foot from here now.
As he parks his car, he continues the journey on foot. A grueling 2-hour hiking trail under the blazing sun.
A beginner hike. Almost with a straight vertical climb. I'm hoping this is A, the right way, and B, not the whole way up like this.
The hike seemed endless. Brendan had accidentally taken a few wrong turns, but after 2.5 hours of trekking through the rugged trail, he finally arrived at the old, abandoned mines. Because the hike had taken longer than thought, night already began to fall, so Brendan decided to explore the area quickly. Making his way through the deteriorating wooden structures, he gave his viewers a glimpse of the eerie surroundings before searching for a good spot to set up camp for the night.
So you can see now the sun's starting to set behind me here. It's a very beautiful cotton candy color. And a new little toy that I bought for the Alone series that I think will come in handy at least and relieve some of the paranoia while I'm sleeping is I bought these little motion sensors. So this is just like your standard convenience store motion sensor. I think it said it did infrared as well as motion. I'm not 100% sure. I will be keeping this receiver in my tent here and moving this sensor to outside. And you can see, hello, welcome. When it detects motion, it'll give off this that little chime. So if any animal or any person or anything comes in the middle of the night, I will be able to wake up and deal with the situation before they sort of see me.
Brendan pitched his tent and shared with his viewers details about his newly purchased gear. He thought it was a smart choice for this adventure, but little did he know, it wasn't. This place had a dark history. Many people had died here, and rumors of hauntings were widespread. Adding to the tension, the site was off limits, and trespassing was illegal. His gear, intended to make the experience easier, could actually worsen things. But Brendan didn't see it that way. Determined to stay, he began preparing his meal. That's when he suddenly made a disturbing discovery.
So I was unaware of this until now, but apparently I lost one of my water bottles on the hike up, and that was my cooking / auxiliary water. For that reason, I was rationing to the account of 2 water bottles, and now all I have left for the night cooking along with the hike home is water, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's up to here. So our water situation is pretty dire, and I'm starting to feel the side effects of dehydration. I'm going to have to, unfortunately, I guess, scrap dinner and just pray for breakfast, that I'll have enough water left over for breakfast in the morning, and I don't think I'm going to have any for the hike home. It's supposed to drop down to about 9 tonight, but I have a winterized sleeping system, which I'm kind of regretting now because I don't want to be sweating, because I don't want to be losing water that I need. So yeah, this is going to be one fun night.
This was far from ideal for Brendan. Knowing he was miles away from any civilization and now faced the prospect of no dinner, no breakfast, and no water for the long hike back, the situation was looking grim. To conserve his energy and hopefully reduce his need for water, he decided to cut the evening short. He climbed into his tent, hoping to get some rest.
Good night, everyone.
Signing off with his viewers, Brendan prepared for what he hoped would be a good night's sleep after the exhausting hike. But, of course, that was not what the night had in store for him.
I'm starting to think the motion sensors weren't the greatest idea. It went off once and creeped me out, and I went to go check on it. Unfortunately, I didn't film, but now it's silent. But the fact that it just went off one singular time and then now it's been silent for 45 minutes is something. It's like skidding down the stairs. I don't know what that was, but we're gonna check it out. Whatever it was, it came from downstairs. It sounded like something dropped and fell down the stairs. Could just be the old building. Was this tube always here?
course, now that I go to investigate, I don't hear anything. Sounds like maybe an animal. I can't say for certain though.
Brendan summoned his courage as he ventured into the eerie, decaying hallways, scanning the darkness with his camera light, trying to pinpoint the source of the strange noises. As he slowly made his way through the eerie hallways, the only sounds that could be heard were the creaking of the old wooden floors beneath his feet and his heavy breathing, which betrayed his growing fear. Attempting to calm himself, he rationalized that it was probably just an animal or something harmless. But deep down, he knew something was off.
There's something over there. Okay, that was a rat. But what was over here?
Suddenly, the detection monitor went off again, confirming he wasn't alone. Unsure how to react, Brendan made a split-second decision to climb the stairs and retreat to the room where he had set up his tent. Locking the door behind him, he hoped it would provide some sense of security. He crawled into his tent, where, for a brief moment, he felt a little safer. But that feeling wouldn't last for long.
I've had enough noises, I've had enough spooks, scares. Now that I've investigated the basement, I don't know, it doesn't seem there's anything. It might just be the building. Who knows? I passed my motion sensor on the way in, it went off, so I'm happy to know that it works. And yeah, hopefully now I can get some sleep. It's been like on and off. I've been getting like little segments here and there of rest, but hopefully now I can actually just close my eyes and fall asleep, you know, rest up for the long hike home tomorrow.
Hello, welcome. Hello, welcome. Hello, welcome.
Okay.
Hello, welcome.
Okay, that's like the third time the motion sensor outside has gone off. I think it's like 3:30 in the morning. I haven't gotten much sleep at all. I've been listening to this. I just have podcasts in my ear just to kind of like drone out some of the noise, but it just makes okay, that I think we need to go investigate that, because I know I closed all the doors, so that concerns me a little. Hearing a slam like that. I don't know if my camera picked it up.
The noises began to intensify. First, the sensor, and now doors slamming. It was clear that someone, or something was out there. Brendan knew he had to check for himself, so there he went again. Taking a few deep breaths, he tried to calm his racing heart, which was pounding in his chest. But the uncertainty of what awaited him in the hallway made every step feel heavier.
But I have the motion sensor set right there. You can see it's going off because I'm here now. But what was setting it off earlier? Maybe there's... I don't know. Okay, I'm going to move it inside in case it's like a squirrel or something. Okay, I'm trying to be weary about noise discipline here. Or light discipline, because... It's not windy. And all of these doors are closed. Well, except for this one, but this one's not budging. As you can see, it's like stuck there. It'd take a lot to move these ones. But it sounded like it was one of these doors. That's so bizarre, they're all closed. Like... This night just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
To his shock, all the doors in the hallway were closed. Yet, he was certain he had heard slamming noises from inside this very area. The horrifying thought of something, or someone, watching him in this decaying abandoned building sent shivers down his spine. With no cell phone connection, Brendan knew that if anything went wrong, it could become a life-threatening situation very quickly. Hoping to regain a sense of safety, he decided to return to his room, lock the door, and retreat into his tent. But before he could do so, more noises and a faint light outside caught his attention.
I swear I just heard the lock click. I don't want to have any lights. I'm going to get my camera. Check it out. I don't think there's anyone out there. It looked like there was light shining on the balcony, but I think it's just the moonlight. I really hope there's not someone creeping out there. Because if they're out here this late, they're up to no good.
Brendan stayed low, peering out of the window and scanning the outside area, trying to spot any sign of movement or a person wandering around. But no one was in sight. At this point, Brendan had had enough. He took off his shoes, crawled into his sleeping bag, and lay there, anxiously waiting for morning to come. And luckily for him, it did. As dawn broke, Brendan felt slightly more at ease in the daylight. Everything seemed less menacing, and the once unsettling sounds around him now felt more tolerable. Still, the fatigue from the sleepless night was beginning to take its toll. Determined to regain some energy for the long hike back to his car, he decided to make breakfast and logged in with his viewers.
That was the last of my water supply, so I hope I can manage the hike back. But I'm hoping maybe I can find a natural spring or something on the way. I got maybe 3-4 hours of sleep, so I got more than usual at least. And I think, honestly, just being dehydrated played into that a lot, and it let my mind kind of wander where I'm usually pretty stable and stoic mentally in these situations. I think it only got down to about 9 degrees, which is still pretty cold. So you never really know what you're going to get. But I'm just happy for the night to be over, and I can't wait to get out of here.
Though still disturbed by the events of the night, Brendan was relieved it was finally over. After finishing breakfast, he packed up his gear and began the long trek back to his car. Along the way, he mentioned that this would be an experience he would never forget. But one unsettling question lingered in his mind. Who was out there with him that night? The strange noises, the slamming doors. It couldn't have been just animals, could it? Could it have been the wandering spirit of a miner who died in this place? Or was there someone out there, silently watching him the entire night? This mystery remains unanswered. It's unsettling to realize how often we take our safety for granted, just like Brendan did. Things could have ended much worse, but the same can be said for Snow and Court in the next video. This chilling encounter was captured by Snow and Court, a couple who turned their lives upside down at the age of 50 to embrace full-time van life. They sold everything they owned, including their Florida home, to move into a 94-square-foot, self-converted van. Their dream? To travel the world. For over 5 years, Snow and Court have explored breathtaking destinations across the USA, Mexico, Central America, South America, and even Europe, documenting their van life adventures on their YouTube channel. Traveling with their 2 cats, Vanna and G, they've always been the picture of resilience and optimism. But during their journey in Chile, an experience shattered their sense of safety and became a moment they'll never forget. It was a typical evening in their van. Snow and Court parked in what seemed like a safe spot, surrounded by the quiet stillness of the Chilean countryside. As the stars filled the sky, they settled in for the night. Everything seemed peaceful, until it wasn't.
Alright guys, no doubt about it, our scariest moment in the van. Voice is shaking, it's taken us a minute to get the camera. Oh, you alright, Kurt?
Yeah.
Middle of the night, I don't even know what time it is. It's
not that late.
It's only 10 o'clock. I don't know if y'all can see it, but we just woke up to someone banging on the window. Our 3M security film worked, but our window is shattered. We need to duct tape this. We'll be back in a minute. Definitely our scariest moment in the van.
They were jolted awake by a deafening noise. Someone was banging on their van's door, frantic and violent. Their hearts raced as the realization hit. This wasn't just a disturbance. Someone was trying to break in.
Oh, they almost got in. Oh, I'm shaking.
Me too.
Oh, our poor kitty cats that scared the daylights out of them.
Oh, wow. That was scary.
Alright. We gotta figure out what to do now. We, clearly, first thing in the morning, have to find a place to get a new window. I don't think there'll be any sleeping tonight, so I don't even really think we need to move. We're in a very lit up area, right by a very nice mall.
Cars around us.
There's cars all around us. There's cars driving by. It's not even 10 o'clock at night.
They were just trying to smash in and steal what's
Grab.
in the van.
Yeah.
Just smash and grab.
Well, I could tell you I've never saw Kurt move that fast.
Well, I got hung in the bed and
blanket.
then I just screamed out loud.
He was
and
yelling so loud and I looked out the window.
My feet were caught in the bed and I just fell all the way down to the floor.
Alright guys, we're feeling a little vulnerable. At least I am. We'll see y'all later. We're okay.
Shaken and caught off guard, Snow and Court froze. For 5 years, they'd embraced van life without incident. Nothing like this had ever happened before. But now, in the early of the night, far from home, they were facing their worst fear.
Guys, just to let you know, we felt incredibly safe parked where we're at. I mean, it's 10 minutes later and a whole family with little kids and stuff just walked by. You never know where this will happen, I guess, but we were not parked in an area that felt sketchy.
Safe, but
yeah,
it's a big city. It's a smash and grab. They were trying to smash in and break what we had, or steal what we had, and that's all. It could happen anywhere in the world. It just happened to us.
right here.
Here.
We're gonna go drive and try to find a paid parking lot that we can maybe get into.
Knowing they couldn't stay there, they acted quickly. Staying there wasn't an option. It no longer felt safe. Without hesitation, they drove to a paid parking lot, planning to fix the damaged window the following morning.
Good morning. It was not just a nightmare. We woke up to a shattered window, but the good news is everybody in the van was able to get a little bit of sleep. The truck stop gas station we parked at, it was a 24-hour place, and we were nestled in between two semis. We believe these are the overalls of the guy that tried to break into our van.
He brought a grocery cart with him.
Yeah.
He had a grocery cart, and Snow saw him trying to escape.
Yeah, Kurt scared the daylights out of him.
And he was stumbling and fumbling and falling to get away. But these were in his grocery cart, so we don't know if he stole these from somebody else, or they were his, or they're his disguise when he gets away.
But we're going to find someone to give them to, because we weren't going to let him come back and have them. There are bad people all over the place, but there are a lot more good people. This will not put a damper on Chile for us.
As dawn broke, they checked in with their audience, recounting the harrowing night. Despite the intrusion, nothing was stolen, and their presence inside the van seemed to have scared off the intruder. While their window was damaged, their spirits remained unbroken. Snow and Court reflected on the experience, grateful they had taken precautions that allowed them to escape safely. They planned to fix the window that morning and use the incident as a learning experience to stay even more vigilant in the future. Though this moment shook them, Snow and Court didn't let it define their journey. They continue to share their van life experiences, reminding their viewers that even in the face of challenges, resilience and optimism can prevail. They continue to upload videos of their van life experiences on their channel, but this is an experience they will never forget. Let's move on to the next disturbing video. Imagine living in a small, quiet town where everyone knows each other. A cozy place near Minnesota, surrounded by snowy forests and peaceful nights. But lately, something strange has been disturbing this tranquility. Residents have reported hearing loud, terrifying roars echoing through the night, and some claim to have seen a massive, shadowy creature with glowing red eyes. The rumors are spreading fast. A TikToker named Jesse decided to find out for himself. What he captured that night has left the internet divided and terrified. It was a cold, snowy night, December 22nd, 2024. Jesse was fast asleep in his bed when a deafening guttural roar jolted him awake. His heart pounded as he sat up in confusion. Could the rumors be true? Was this the same sound people in his town had been whispering about? Determined to uncover the truth, Jesse grabbed his phone and stepped out into the freezing night. The sound was coming from the dark woods nearby, leading up the mountain. Against all logic, he decided to follow it, alone. As Jesse ventured deeper into the forest, he began recording, and that's when he caught it on camera.
Got something coming down, man. I got something screaming down there. I don't know what this is, man. Something fucking screaming down there, man. Hello? Where are you? Show yourself right now!
Blood-curdling screams echoed through the forest. It wasn't just loud. It was primal, almost otherworldly. But what Jesse does next is unexplainable. He starts yelling at it, revealing his location. Not the smartest thing to do, especially since the creature seemed to respond and move closer.
Something real big, guys. What the fuck? Shit, man.
Loud snapping sounds echoed through the forest, as if the creature was getting closer. Scared, Jesse tried to take cover behind a tree, and shortly after, the video abruptly cut off. Later, Jesse told his viewers that he remained completely still for several minutes, keeping his flashlight off to avoid revealing his position. During that time, he heard loud sniffing and felt the ground tremble, as though something heavy was moving closer to him. However, he never actually saw anything. When the noises finally stopped and the creature seemed to be gone, Jesse made a run for it, eventually arriving home safely. Once home, he started researching sounds similar to what he had heard that night, and his findings pointed to something terrifying: a Wendigo. Armed with this information, Jesse shared the video on TikTok, showing people what he had captured on camera. The video quickly went viral, sparking wild speculations across the internet. Some people who lived near Minnesota claimed to believe Jesse's story, saying they had heard similar sounds in the area. Others, however, remained skeptical. To this day, no one has been able to explain what Jesse encountered that night. Was it really the Wendigo? The mystery remains unsolved. Did you find these 5 encounters unsettling? Then brace yourself for what you're about to see next. The Appalachian Mountains are breathtakingly beautiful, stretching across 13 states in the U.S., known for their lush forests, rolling hills, and serene landscapes. They're a haven for hikers and campers alike. But beneath this natural beauty lies something far darker: a reputation for strange and unexplainable phenomena. Some say the mountains hold secrets, whispers of eerie rules like, if you hear something, act like you didn't, or if you see something, never speak about it. People online share spine-chilling stories, warning others to stay silent, claiming that acknowledging what you encounter could make things worse. Lizzie loves hiking and camping in remote areas. She spends hours scrolling TikTok for inspiration, and one day, she stumbled upon videos about the Appalachian Mountains. While she admired their beauty, the eerie stories intrigued her even more. With her friend Alexandra, Lizzie decided to explore the mountains for herself. Instead of camping in tents, they played it safe by renting an Airbnb near the forest. They planned to enjoy the hikes during the day and retreat to the comfort of their cabin at night. Their first day was uneventful, filled with scenic trails and breathtaking views. But what began as a peaceful adventure soon took a dark turn. That night, everything seemed normal, until 2 a.m., Lizzie and Alexandra were jolted awake by disturbing, blood-curdling screams echoing from the forest outside.
Mike?
Loud, disturbing screams echoed through the night with someone yelling, "Ayuda," which means help in Spanish. Lizzie and Alexandra didn't know how to react. This wasn't some unexplainable phenomenon. This was terrifyingly real. Someone needed help. But what could they do? Eventually, the screams and gunshots stopped. Terrified and unsure of what to do, the girls decided to stay silent, following the warnings they had seen on TikTok. If you witness something strange in the Appalachian Mountains, don't say or do anything. They hesitated about whether to share the video on TikTok. However, once they were safely away from the Appalachian Mountains, they decided to post it. They wanted people to see what they had witnessed. The video quickly went viral, gaining views from all around the world. Many people were furious, criticizing Lizzie and Alexandra for not taking any action. Others defended their choice, pointing out the cryptic warnings tied to the area. What truly happened in those mountains that night remains a mystery. Lizzie and Alexandra have given no updates since, leaving the internet to wonder and debate about the terrifying events they captured. That's all for today, folks. If you want to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.